I don't tell this story very often, because people usually decide they understand it too quickly. They hear one detail near the end and think it explains everything that happened. But it doesn't. And that's what makes this story hard for me to forget. It was supposed to be a simple trip. Just 3 friends taking a short break and spending a night by the ocean. We chose a busy American beach city, the kind built entirely around tourism. Hotels lined the shoreline, restaurants stayed open late, and even at night there were always people around. That's important. Because what happened to us didn't happen in isolation. It didn't happen somewhere remote or abandoned. It happened in a hotel surrounded by other guests. We arrived in the afternoon and did what everyone does on a beach trip. Walked along the shore, ate too much, talked about nothing important. By evening, we decided to book a hotel instead of driving back. We walked into one of the nicer places along the strip. Clean lobby, soft lighting, front desk staffed even late at night. We asked for an ocean view room. The receptionist checked her computer and shook her head. All the ocean view rooms are booked. She offered us another room. Same quality, same floor, just not facing the beach. It was cheaper too. We hesitated. If you've ever planned a beach trip, you know why. Waking up to the ocean is half the reason you go. We asked if there were any ocean view rooms left. She paused, then said something that felt strange even then. "There is one," she said, "but it's not part of our regular inventory anymore." We pressed her. She stayed professional, calm, no dramatic tone. She didn't tell us a story or try to scare us. She just said they didn't rent that room anymore and strongly suggested we choose another one. That should have been enough. But we were tired, stubborn, and honestly acting entitled. After a lot of back and forth, she finally said she'd need approval from her manager. About 20 minutes later, a housekeeping employee unlocked the room and cleaned it thoroughly while we waited in the hallway. The cleaning took almost half an hour. We watched the entire time. Nothing unusual happened. Eventually, we were handed the key. 4th floor, ocean view. At first, it felt completely worth it. The room was clean, bigger than expected. The balcony doors opened straight toward the water, moonlight reflecting off the waves. We ordered food, ate together, stood outside listening to the ocean, joking about how dramatic the receptionist had been. There was no bad feeling, no strange smells, no cold spots, nothing. We went to bed genuinely happy. I don't know exactly what time I woke up. I just know it wasn't morning. What woke me wasn't a sound. It was the sense that something wasn't right. Then I heard it. Not footsteps, not voices, just movement. As my eyes adjusted, I realized I wasn't the only one awake. Both of my friends were sitting up in their beds too. And that's when I saw what filled the room. I'm careful about how I describe this. They weren't people. They weren't figures. They were dark shapes, moving independently across the walls and ceiling, sliding and shifting near the beds. Not fast, not violent, just there. The only light in the room came from outside. The moonlight through the balcony doors and window. That light outlined everything, including them. There were too many to count. We all screamed at once. I jumped out of bed and slammed the light switches. Nothing happened. I flipped them again and again. The room stayed dark. My friends pulled out their phones. The screens lit up, but the flashlights wouldn't activate. That's when the shapes started moving closer. Slowly, deliberately. We backed ourselves against the wall, shoulder to shoulder. I don't remember thinking clearly. I don't remember praying. All I remember is hammering my phone screen over and over, my hands shaking so badly I could barely press the button, And then, the flashlight turned on, bright, and instantly, the room was empty. No shapes, no movement, nothing. I turned on the overhead lights immediately. They worked. Everything worked. The room looked exactly the same as it had before we went to sleep. Without saying a word, we grabbed our bags and ran, barefoot, half-dressed, no plan, straight to the front desk. The man working the desk that night was older than the receptionist from earlier. He listened quietly as we explained what happened. When we finished, he paused and said calmly, "There's nothing wrong with that room." He suggested stress, imagination, or a shared nightmare. He didn't argue. He didn't accuse us of lying. He simply moved us to another room. None of us slept again that night. We checked out early the next morning. Outside, curiosity got the better of us. We approached a hotel security guard and asked about that room. At first, he refused to say anything. After enough pressing and a small tip, he finally spoke. He didn't tell a story. He didn't sound sure. He said people around the hotel talked about a woman who used to stay in that room regularly, always alone, always on the same night of the week. One morning, she was found dead inside. After that, guests started reporting things. The room was taken out of use. That was all he said. We left after that. I've stayed in plenty of hotels since. Nothing like that has happened again. But I don't argue with staff anymore, and I don't insist on rooms that aren't meant to be used. Because sometimes, when someone tells you a door is closed, it's not for comfort. It's because something doesn't stay contained.